Hello everyone. So, we are in the session 9. Yesterday's session we were talking about the dicot embryo and monocot embryo. With that, we completed all the embryos and endosperm, study of endosperm, stages of endosperm, and how the embryo develops from pro-embryo to mature embryo. So, with this, we'll move on to the next concept, that is seed. So, seed, when it develops, seed develops after double fertilization. After fertilization, seed forms. As we know, the basic thing is seed forms when the flower pollinate, and then after the pollination of flower, what we see in a tree, we see a fruit in a tree, but we won't see the seeds in the tree. So few trees are there, few species are there in that seeds are seen or seeds are available or seeds are we can observe the seeds, but what we are going to do here, what we are describing here is step by step we are going to describe, we are going to learn how the seeds form. The very first thing to form the seed is it needs double fertilization. Few concepts are there, few exceptions are there. Without fertilization, fruits form. Without fertilization, the flower, it become fruit. So that is different. I'll tell you a little after some time. So first we'll study this double fertilization. After double fertilization, few events takes place. Few events like the ovule. Post fertilization events, I told you no on that day. The same thing I am going to explain you. The seed, when it forms after double fertilization, and the post fertilization or after double fertilization, some events takes place. In that, the first one is the ovule become seed. No need to writing all this because you have already done this. Ovule, it develops into seed. The ovary develops into fruit, and integument develops into seed coat, and then what else? Ovule, seed, ovary, fruit, integuments, seed coat. And one more thing to tell, let me draw a structure of seed here. Just remember any seed, any dicot seed, at this region you will find a small opening. A small opening on the seed. Morphologically you can see a small opening in any dicot seed. That opening is known as micropyle, and the outer tough layer will be there. No, a hard coat will be there, that is seed coat, and this portion is known as hilum. Alright, so my concept is I want to explain you, I want to describe you a small opening present at that seed or in the dicot seed. That small opening is known as micropyle. So these are the events what we saw in the last session, before last session, how the events took place after post fertilization. After the post fertilization, after the double fertilization, ovule become seed, ovary become fruit, and then integuments become seed coat. One more is there, the ovary wall. The ovary wall become pericarp. So we'll see what will happen in the next step. Let me tell you, the seed, it is of two types. What are they? What are the two types of seed? The seeds are of two types, as I told you. One is albuminous seed and non-albuminous. On what basis I am describing the seed? I'll tell you. So the seeds are of two types. One is albuminous One more is non-albuminous, or albuminous is also known as endospermic. This non-albuminous is also, it can also be written as X-albuminous. And albuminous, non-albuminous or X-albuminous, here non-endospermic, the other name I am writing here, albuminous or albuminous seed or endospermic seed, non-albuminous seed or non-endospermic seed. I guess you come to know what I am talking about. The seeds are of two types. On what basis we have divided the seeds? On the basis of endosperm. If in the endosperm, if in the embryo sac, so this is the embryo sac, here we are having a zygote or the embryo. If the embryo sac having endosperm, what is the function of endosperm? Endosperm function is it stores reserve food material, it nourishes the zygote and it nourishes the embryo. And after some period, the endosperm, it will remain in the embryo sac itself, or it remain in the seed. If it remains in the seed, that seed is known as albuminous seed or endospermic seed. Now coming to the non-albuminous or X-albuminous or non-endospermic seed, if the seed or if the zygote, it completely consumes this endosperm, nothing is there, endosperm is completely absent. Why it get absent? It is consumed by this zygote or the developing embryo. The embryo completely consumes this endosperm. This type of seeds are known as non-albuminous or non-endospermic seed. Now, then how it get nourished, how it get germinate, or if the endosperm is not there, how it get germinate? Here is the answer. So I am writing here the transverse longitudinal section of seed. If we take the longitudinal section of seed, we will find what I am drawing here. I am drawing an example of non-albuminous seed. Here embryo will be there. So these are the two cotyledons. Non-albuminous seed example is pea groundnut. So in the groundnut, if you take the groundnut into two equal halves, you will get one and then one more portion in between those, a small one small region will be there. So this is nothing but cotyledons. That cotyledons, it will be full of reserve food materials or proteinaceous content. So if the endosperm is not present, the endospermic role, what is the role of endosperm? It stores the reserve food material. That role played by the cotyledons. Okay, on this basis seeds are classified into, or it is divided into two types. Now what is the viability of seed? How long it will be there after the maturation? Listen to me carefully here. After a maturation, if the seed is completely matured, in sense it become dry. The seed, almost all seeds are dry in nature. You might have seen the seeds. Why it gets dry in nature? Because the moisture content is completely absent. Only a little portion of moisture will be present inside the seed, but in some seeds that also absent. So in total, what we are taking here, the seed is completely dry, or it has taken out, or it has given out all the moisture contained inside it, so that it can live a long life. Long life means it goes to dormant stage. Dormant stage is nothing but, in simple words we can tell it as resting stage. How long you prefer or you preserve the seed? It will remain as it is until you provide some moisture content to that seed. It will be there. So that stage is there, no, that resting period is there, no, that is dormancy or dormant stage, where the seed is completely lost its moisture, so that it can be in a resting stage. After, so that is the unfavorable condition we can call it as. After unfavorable condition, if the seed it get any moisture content from the circumstance, if we found the moisture content, if the same seed, if you put it in the water, the seed germinates. Why? Because the thing is there, the reserve food materials are there. If those reserve food material or all those things, if they found the moisture content or the water content, they will germinate. So this is how we are going to study about the seed. Okay, so one more thing to tell. The first thing is, in the double fertilization, it get fused with one male gamete, as you know, and then one the polar nuclei, it will fuse with the one more male gamete. There the double fertilization takes place. And then the antipodals and synergids, everything degenerate, and then ovule becomes seed, and then here what we talked about. Let me draw the diagram so that you will come to know. So here, think this is the micropylar end and chalazal end, endosperm, zygote. So this zygote, it develops into embryo, and then endosperm, it will keep on nourishes to the zygote. Okay, so next to this embryo sac, what we found inner layer and outer layer, inner integument and outer integument, right? And then after this, ovary wall or ovary. However, or how the double fertilization over, if the ovule converts into seed, then later on the ovary wall or ovary, it becomes or it develops into fruit. Until and unless before the bud fertilization or before the ovary develops into seed, the ovary do not develop into fruit. That is my concept. And one more thing to tell. So these integuments, listen to me. So these two integuments, they are the future seed coat, as I told you. Let me tell you one more thing here. The inner integument, I'll write in a short form, don't copy my words, you have to write it in a full form. Inner integument, it become tegmen, and outer will be, in outer integument, it develop into testa of seed. So the testa is hard and leathery, but the tegmen is soft, little bit soft, and only one layer, thin layered integument. So that's all about the outer integument and inner integument. So these are the future development. Future means after fertilization or post fertilization events I am telling you. After telling all those events, I came to the seed. So based on the presence of endosperm, it has been classified into two types: albuminous seed and non-albuminous seed, endosperm or endospermic seed or non-endospermic seed. If the endosperm is present in the seed, that seeds are known as endospermic or albuminous seed. If those are absent, those are known as non-endospermic seed. Example for non-endospermic seed is groundnut and pea. Now, after the seed, we'll see the fruit here. Here it comes the fruit. So what is the fruit? If I give you a fruit, just remember one fruit. Nowadays mango season is going on. Just think about the mango or the banana or the apple. What do you think you will find? You think a mesocarp, a fleshy part of the fruit. So one by one we'll discuss what is that fleshy part, what is the hard part, where will be the seeds are present in the fruit. So being we are learning the reproduction in flowering plants, we have to read or we have to study the fruit by part. Okay, after fertilization part by part means let me draw one diagram of what is that? Mango here. So if I tell you to label this diagram, okay, I won't label this diagram, you people just label it and show it to me. One more fruit I'll label later. Let me explain you about the fruit. After that I'll label the apple diagram I'll label the parts. You people, what you have to do, you have to label the mango fruit, all the parts you have to label here. And then, so now coming to the fruit description, the fruit is a fertilized ovary, we can call it as a fertilized ovary is known as fruit. If a fruit, let me tell you the types of fruit here. There are two types of fruit. One is two types. One is true fruit and one more is false fruit. True fruit and false fruit. What is that? We didn't heard about the true fruit and false fruit. Let me tell you about the true fruit first. If the ovary fertilized and it become only ovary I am telling you, if the ovary fertilizes and it develops into fruit, mark my word, ovary. Okay, if only ovary fertilizes and develops into fruit, that type of fruit is known as true fruit. Now coming to the false fruit, I'll write the description of false fruit here. If the ovary is fertile after the fertilization of ovary, if it is developing into fruit, that is known as true fruit. Coming to the false fruit, what will happen here? Along with the ovary, let me write those words, along with the ovary, if the thalamus and also accessory parts will become the part of the ovary, that fruit is known as false fruit. For example, a false fruit example is apple, strawberry, okay. I told you I'll draw the diagram of apple and then I'll label the parts I told you. So this is why I told you I'll draw the diagram of apple. So apple is a false fruit. it gets fertilized. After fertilization, the ovary, it becomes fruit. But in the apple, not only ovary but also the thalamus and accessory parts. In the apple, in the case of apple, the thalamus only, we have to mention the thalamus here, but in some flowers or but in some fruits, accessory parts also become a part of the fruit. But in case of apple, the thalamus. Let me write the diagram of apple here so that you will come to know what I am talking about. So the fleshy part of the apple is nothing but the thalamus. Where will be the thalamus? The thalamus, this is the receptacle of the flower. Earlier we studied, no? So this is the flower and stigma and anther, all those arising from this one's fallen portion. I have drawn here, no? So this is known as receptacle or thalamus. In the case of apple, what is happening here in the apple fruit? When the apple's ovary or the flower of apple, when it gets fertilizes, along with the ovary, the thalamus also become the part of the fruit. This type of fruits are known as false fruit, but it won't happen in the true fruit. True fruit will remain true. Only the ovary portion will become the, what is that? The fruit. Okay, so that's all about the true fruit and false fruit. One more concept is there. It's a little bit interesting concept. You might have heard about the parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy, this is the process where the fruit, no doubt the fruit forms, but without fertilization. Yes, here without fertilization, if the fruit forms, the type of fruit is known as parthenocarpy fruit. The natural parthenocarpy taking place in the nature, that is banana. This is the fruit. It get developed in the plant, banana plant, by means of parthenocarpy. Here fertilization won't occur in the banana plant. The resultant product will be a fruit of parthenocarpy. So this is the natural parthenocarpy fruit. But the artificial means, by means of artificial, we can grow number of fruits. Without fertilization we can grow, or we can have the fruits without seeds. Without seeds means, for example, in market you might have seen the watermelon, the grape, and also some number of fruits will be there. So if those fruits do not have the seeds, that without the seedless fruit are known as parthenocarpy fruit. It means by means of artificial, the marketers, or sorry, not marketers, I'm sorry, the plant breeders, they have grown the fruit, and the natural parthenocarpy or the natural parthenocarpic fruit is banana. And then after the fruit and after the parthenocarpy fruit, one more concept is there, that is apomixis. Apomixis, this is the term used for the asexual reproduction. Yes, asexual reproduction is also known as apomixis, but don't use apomixis in every asexual reproduction. So, sexual reproduction, let me introduce or let me recall the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. How it happened? One male gamete and then female gamete, they fused with one another, and then we got a zygote, and then after the development, after certain stage, that the zygote develops into embryo, so on and so on. So those are the steps, unnatural and common and gradual changes to take place in most of the angiospermic flowers. But here, if sexual reproduction replaced by asexual reproduction, it means everything will remain same. In the embryo sac, egg cell is present, but this egg cell, listen to me, this egg cell is diploid, egg cell I am telling you, diploid number of chromosome, having diploid number of chromosome, and these egg cell do not fuse with the male gamete. Okay, so these egg cells do not fuse with the male gamete, they directly divide and it forms a future cell or future embryo and then seed. So this type of mechanism is known as apomixis, where sexual reproduction do not occur. Fusion of male gamete and female gamete won't occur. Then what's happening here? Here in the embryo sac in the ovule, embryo sac will be there. No, in the embryo sac egg cell, it will be of what is that? Diploid set. But it won't get fused with the male gamete. It directly develops into fruit or seed. The type of the reproduction is known as apomixis. So this apomixis, it is used by many plant breeders to retain the characters. I'll tell you all those things about the apomixis and the character segregation. Everything I'll tell you in the chapter number 7 and 8. We'll stop this concept to this only. So after apomixis, we'll see the polyembryony. Remember, apomixis is only the formation of or the development of female gamete. Without fusion of male gamete, if the female gamete develops, that type of reproduction is known as apomixis or asexual reproduction, replaced by asexual type of reproduction. Let me tell you the examples here. I forgot to mention the examples. Here, the Asteraceae family, Poaceae family, Liliaceae and Solanaceae. In all these families, apomixis type of fertilization takes place. Okay, and now coming to the polyembryony. Polyembryony, just split this word. The embryo having many in number. If in a seed, the seed contains many embryo. That type of or the process is the development of seed with many embryos. That process is known as, or that formation is known as polyembryony. Let me tell you the examples here. the polyembryony, this is the development or this is the process seen in many gymnosperms, gymnospermic plant, but rare in angiosperms. It means in angiosperm, polyembryony type of reproduction or type of development is rare. It's a rare phenomena, but maximum of the gymnosperm will be having polyembryony type of development. So polyembryony, where the embryos will be present many in number, I am telling you. No, let me draw the diagram and let me explain you. Micropylar end, chalazal end, endosperm, and then what is this? Zygote. Okay, so the zygote has developed into embryo, pro-embryo, just think it as a pro-embryo. The other parts of this embryo sac, just think or just take this as antipodal cells and the synergids and the cells. So these cells, after that, just keep this in mind, the two synergids and antipodal cells, keep that as it is. Let me come to this little bit later. Let me tell you about the zygote first. So what will happen to the zygote? The zygote cleavages or the zygote mitotic division takes place in the zygote. After the mitotic division, pro-embryo, after the pro-embryo, globular shaped embryo, and then after that we saw or we studied the heart shaped embryo. So these are all the stages of embryo we studied yesterday. Okay, but here in the case of polyembryony, when the zygote will be there, no, when it divide mitotically, the cleavage takes place. Cleavages means it will divide, it will get separate. However it gets separate, we got two zygotes here. One zygote, one more zygote. Here one more zygote. This one cell developed into new pro-embryo and this zygote or this zygote cell develops into new pro-embryo. Got it? What I am telling you? When the zygote divides mitotically. Earlier we studied the zygote develops into two-celled, later this will be the suspensor cell, and like that we studied. No, but in the polyembryonic stage it won't happen like that. When the zygote divides mitotically, cleavages forms. It means the one cell zygote it become two cell and then 2 to 4, like that many embryos forms in the embryo sac. That mechanism is known as polyembryony. I told you little bit later explain you about the synergids and then antipodals. No, so these antipodals and synergids in some species they also converts to or they also forms haploid embryos. So this is the condition or this is the case or this is the phenomena what we can call it as polyembryony. Example for the polyembryony, I'll take the example, I'll tell you the example of angiosperm here. If you want to know about the gymnospermic plant polyembryony stage is Pinus. So Pinus is the plant. Many gymnosperm I told you. So in many gymnosperms we can see the polyembryony stages or polyembryony condition. Coming to the angiosperms, orange, citrus fruit. In the citrus fruit we can see the polyembryony. It means in one seed many embryos. Earlier we saw in one seed only one embryo, but in the polyembryonic condition, in one seed many embryos forms. How it is forming? Because of the deep cleavage of the zygote results in the formation of polyembryon. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. If you have any doubts regarding to today's concept, please ask me, because apomixis and polyembryony, don't get confused. Apomixis is the condition, or this is the case where the sexual reproduction replaced by asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means it is not by means of cutting part, or the embryo sac or the female gamete get cut and it forms, or it reproduces into a new plant. It is not like that. The female flower, what it is having a female gamete, that female gamete will be of diploid set of chromosome. That diploid set of chromosome, it fertilizes without male gamete. So that case or that process is known as apomixis. Polyembryony, in one seed if many embryos are present, that formation or that phenomena is known as polyembryony. Don't get confused. Before that we studied about the seed and fruit. In the seed, what you have to learn? In the seed, albuminous and then non-albuminous, and then viability of seed, and then dormancy of seed. Don't forget about the dormancy of seed is resting stage of seed. After the seed we studied about the fruit. In the fruit, what we studied about the true fruit and false fruit, parthenocarpy. In previous examinations, once they asked about the false fruit and they asked you to give one example for false fruit. False fruit example is apple. Parthenocarpy, natural parthenocarpy example is banana. Don't forget, keep on messaging me, keep on asking me the doubts, because the chapter is over now. It's your responsibility to study well. Thank you.